The office of Speaker of the House of the United States House of Representatives is hereby declared vacant.
Chair declares the House in recess, subject to the call of the chair.
There's a significantly different level of slamming in these two gavels. One being the president that was presiding over the session that ousted one Kevin McCarthy from his speakership versus that guy who's the new pro temp speaker. That slam was something a little bit more to it that I don't think many people were expecting. But at the end of it all, the case still remains. Kevin McCarthy is no longer Speaker of the House. Matter of fact, the first time in American history, a speaker has been ousted specifically by his own damn party because rules got changed. He basically handed the keys over to Matt Gaetz and company, and they put those keys in ignition and they drove and left Kevin McCarthy's ass behind. Let's look at the count here that happened. Though from CNN, exactly how this happened. Republicans voting to oust McCarthy as Speaker there was 8 of them. Here's all 8. They joined all Democrats, of course. Matt Gaetz of Florida, Eli Crane and Andy Biggs of Arizona, Ken Buck of Colorado, Tim Burchett of Tennessee, he's my favorite one that did this. Bob Good of Virginia, Nancy Mace of South Carolina, and Matt Rosendale of Montana. A few names maybe you haven't heard of, but a couple of few that you actually have as well. And actually a few surprises in there, which again, can't wait to get to that part. But McCarthy did respond to this seemingly ouster, this mutiny from his fellow Republicans. He responded afterwards, and there was some jovial moments oddly here, but he was generally talking this way.
My goals have not changed. My ability to fight is just in a different form. You need 218. Unfortunately, 4% of our conference can join all the Democrats and dictate who can be the Republican Speaker in this House. I don't think that rule is good for the institution, but apparently I'm the only one. I believe I can continue to fight, maybe in a different manner. I will not run for Speaker again. I'll have the conference pick somebody else.
He has this cadence as if he's a statesman, and then, therefore, I shall. Why can't politicians talk normally? Just speak. But still, it's who they are, it's what it's about. He mentioned there about how Democrats joined with these 8 Republicans to choose who's gonna be the Speaker of this House. Speaking specifically how Republicans control the House, right? But therefore Democrats and 8 Republicans are the ones that are deciding this. Not the Republicans brought this up, specifically a Republican that he gave the power to do so. And in case you don't believe me, really fast, this was a graphic on the next part, but I want to read this because I think he forgot. McCarthy's ascension to becoming the Speaker of the House didn't come without a cost. You guys remember this? It came with some concessions. In addition to agreeing to disallow members from voting via proxy, limitations on spending bills, bringing back a 19th century rule allowing legislators to reduce the salaries of federal employees, McCarthy made a key concession. And he allowed any single House member to file a motion to vacate in an attempt to boot him from his seat. That one person was one Matt Gaetz. That deal he made was with one Matt Gaetz, and Matt Gaetz then pulled it out of his back pocket. But still, somehow, it became a Democrat's fault that Matt Gaetz, who has an R behind his name and screamed and yelled the entire time against other Republicans as they were going through this process, it still ended up being Democrats' fault. I think we're beginning to see why no one had Kevin McCarthy's back, because even when he needed to grovel and go after someone that could maybe save his ass, it was only Matt Gaetz who could save his ass. And Matt Gaetz told him from the beginning, I have no interest in you even being here. So why would I keep you here when I now have the power to run the House? Your thoughts on that first, Brett, because there's so much more.
Being the Speaker of the House is a difficult job. Being the Speaker of this House is a very difficult job. Kevin McCarthy is not good enough at this job to keep it. That is the resounding conclusion to a very short tenure. And the stuff he's blaming is stuff he should have known and been able to, kind of plan around. He's saying, oh, that rule that Democrats can help choose the Speaker of the House is a bad rule. Yeah, but it was the lay of the land when you took it. And that's not the rule that sunk you, idiot. The rule that sunk you was what Jayar just mentioned a second ago. Like that he agreed to a rule that one person could bring a motion to be like, let's boot this guy out of here. And he did that because he felt he needed to be Speaker of the House so bad, and he wasn't good enough at negotiating to find a way around it. He, however, is the biggest proof you need to understand how he's not why he's a bad Speaker of the House is he just needs to count votes. Like Nancy Pelosi, everybody says she's a master legislator, and a lot of people on TYT say that that's not the truth. What she is a master at is counting votes. She's a master at knowing how many people are with her and how many people are against her and giving out concessions so that people stay with her in a big enough number where she can avoid crap like this. And McCarthy was so bad at counting votes. There's actually a second step to this that he said, I don't even need to do. 2 days ago, yesterday, he was on Sunday, he was on Martha or whatever, the Face the Nation or Meet the Press or whatever the hell. And he said, bring it on, I'll survive this. And then part of the rule that allows one person to challenge his speakership and have him voted out is that he gets 48 hours to figure it out. And he said, I don't need it. He said, I don't need those 48 hours. And he just went for it. And
I speculated on that. He's been stressed for 8 months, bro. He's been looking over his shoulder at Matt Gaetz, breathing. So he's like, bro, I don't know. He's like, I'm tired of it. It's like enough of the stress has built up in him. He's like, you know what? It's going to happen at some point. If I somehow concede to Matt some more and last another month, by November, December, I'm back in the hot seat. He knew this is going to be the temperature of his entire speakership. Matt Gaetz controlled it. I guess he trusted him. That was the only route he could go, because doing anything as far as working with Democrats, the way they talk about how they say they're bipartisan and we work across the aisle, no one actually believes it because it's like toxic to even mention it.
For more political news, breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/The Damage Report. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.